What's good, everybody? Welcome to Bowler's Paradise. My name is Ben. I'm a USBC Silver Certified Coach, and today we are taking a look at the new Pure Envy from Hammer. Before we get this one going though, be sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to help us help you get the best non-biased and cross-brand reviews in bowling. So while you're down there, be sure you hit that notification bell too so you don't miss out on our next review. I think the R&D process for this one was quite simple. Let's take two of the best releases from the last couple of years and put them together. So inspired by the original Envy and the new Effect, Hammer brings us the new Pure Envy with that familiar and very strong launcher core and wraps it in a hybrid version of the cover stock featured on the Effect, the HK22 Cohesion Hybrid finished at 2000 grit out of the box. So for the layout, I went with one very similar to my original Envy. I was actually pretty scared to drill that piece strong at the time, but was very glad that I did once I got out onto the lanes. So for the layout on this one, I went with a 4.5 by 4.5 by 3.5 2LS layout. Staying right up the middle, this layout is one of those stay out of the way kind of layouts that's still kind of strong, but it's meant to let the Pure Envy be everything Hammer has dreamt it up to be. And on the lanes, after the first few shots, I was almost ready to call this one the ball of the year, but that impression only lasted so long. The Pure Envy gave me a look towards the outside part of the lane that was so exciting, and with it being a top tier piece, I was honestly stunned with how well it controlled the friction and converted that into an effectively heavy roll through the pins. But my favorite part about throwing this one was how it provides a shape that I believe is truly unique in the market today. This is not the strongest ball, this is not the most angular ball, and it's really not even a benchmark shape for me, but it somehow wraps what pieces like the Ultimate Defender, the Archetype Hybrid, and even the DV8 Hater did very well, and puts that all into one piece. That means that once you find the zone you should be in, the Pure Envy will treat you quite well, and then when that look is gone, you can just bump into a different zone without having to change balls and just find another good look. But on the list of downsides, there's one that stands out, and that's that the Pure Envy looks weirdly better when it has some friction in the front part of the lane to deal with. On the shots where it's really clean through the fronts, the down lane reaction is actually kind of squirrely and hard to handle. I'd venture to guess that if you were consistent on keeping this one around 3000 grit after breaking it in, this issue would pretty much go away, but if you don't, expect to leave a lot of pins in the back row. And once you decide to add this one to your arsenal, I'd recommend pairing it with that Hammer Effect, as well as an Ebonite Fireball Purple and Gold. The Effect is the obvious go-to once you've hit the inside limit with the Pure Envy, and then the Fireball Purple and Gold is that wild card option that is bound to have a good look somewhere on the lane pretty much at any time. It's a pairing of three options that might struggle a little bit on challenging conditions, but for our league bowlers out there, this would cover just about every base that you'd need to cover. So jumping to our Crossbrand comparisons, I first took a look at the Harsh Reality Pearl from 900 Global, and on these shots where the cover on this piece is actually sanded to 4000 grit, the ball never stood a chance outside of fourth arrow, but it massively outperforms the Pure Envy from the inside part of the lane. That means that rev dominant bowlers, especially with a lower ball speed like me, are more likely to match up with this one from 900 Global. Then I took a look at the Wicked Collision from DV8, and here I see a piece that fills a similar place in an arsenal as the Pure Envy, but for some different reasons. The Wicked Collision seems to like the outside part of the lane just as much, but it's cleaner through the friction and allows the core to stabilize the reaction off the end of the pattern, whereas the Pure Envy stabilizes that reaction with its cover strength. So bowlers with a lower axis of rotation are more likely to match up with this one from DV8. But with that, here's my recommendations on the types of bowlers that I think would match up well with the Pure Envy from Hammer. The first is bowlers with a high axis of rotation. This is a lot of bowling ball and it wants to slow down. So bowlers with a high axis of rotation will be able to stay just inside of where the traffic is on the lane and control the pocket really well without sacrificing the hitting power necessary to push all 10 pins straight back. The second recommendation is for bowlers who understand how to use surface grit to their advantage. In these test shots, the cover on the Pure Envy did shine up a good amount, which may work really well for some and maybe not for some others. The key is being able to match the surface to what the lanes call for that day. So if you're carrying around some old Aberlon pads and you know how to use them well, the Pure Envy might just be the strike machine you're looking for. The all-new Pure Envy from Hammer brings some of that pink and purple magic to the top of their lineup for the 2024 season, and in the right hands could make your ball motion the envy of your entire league. And you can pick this up today and much more at bowlersparadise.com. Be sure to use the discount code YouTube at checkout for free shipping. Thank you to my friend Ryan Shafransky for the drilling of this piece, and to Dale's Weston Lanes for letting us film this video. If you haven't yet, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more ball and product reviews. But as always, remember you guys, having the right ball in your hands, now that's a bowler's paradise. Peace.